Hello everybody, welcome back to my series where I do 31 stories for 31 days. This is day number 21, and obviously this isn't a consistent series, but I'm still getting through it. I'm going to finish this series by the end of June, and I'll do my best, okay? So I guess it'll take 2 months to do 1 month of videos for the series, but, you know, we're taking our time, and I don't want people to think I'm out of video ideas. I still have a bunch more, but, I just didn't want to push it too hard, especially with all the vacationing and all that. But with that being said, let's get into it. And this title might be a little bit familiar to you. Some people might notice this title being similar from one of my beginning videos of this series where I talked about a horrible experience I had with a Bedwars YouTuber. So I want to make this clear. This is a completely real story, and as I go through the story, it will make more sense, because the main difference with this story from my last horrible experience with the Bedwars YouTuber is this one was actually completely my fault. In the last video, or I guess the last time I talked about a topic like this, where I had a bad experience with a creator, which obviously I wasn't going to name, and I didn't name them, I talked about how I felt like I was done extremely dirty, as this was a much larger creator, and they didn't really treat me very well, in the collab I did with them, but the difference is that this time around, this experience that I had with this creator was kind of my fault, and I felt responsible for it, and I felt super bad, and it was overall just not a good decision on my part. So with that being said, I'm being very vague. Let's get into it, and this might be a sweaty game because there's like an 800-star sweat in here that just broke my bed. I'm gonna have to try hard and see if I can win this game. So anyways, once again, I'm not gonna name this person. You know, I don't think it's necessary, but I will talk about it, and I'll give some context so that it makes sense. So as I was growing as a creator, obviously I had my old channel called Specular before I moved on to Specular Potato. I say obviously, but this might not be super obvious. I had an old channel called Specular where I used to upload kind of like smaller montages, and around when I hit 40,000 subscribers, which is, I would say, maybe like 2.5-3 years ago from now, so it's been a long time, I was in a Discord with a bunch of like larger and smaller creators. So there was a bunch of creators. There's some creators that were super big, like people that had contacts with people as big as Skeppy, very popular creators, and then some smaller ones that were friends of this person. Just all kinds of creators, you know. It's a cool place where people just got together, talked about YouTube and whatnot, and this was back in the day, so it was a lot smaller of a community, so most people knew each other, and this is when Specular Burrito was also pretty active in the community, because we owned the channel Specular together. So anyways, one day, this server is actually owned by a popular creator that I will not name because the video is actually about them, but there's a popular creator with around like 400,000 subscribers, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's how many subs they had. I could be wrong. I don't think I am. I might be. I don't know. I think they had like 400k, and that person was not in the call. And one day, we were in a call. There's like me, I think like 3 or 4 other people, and we were all in this VC of this creator, this popular creator, and we were just talking about like YouTube statistics and whatnot. Now, I want you guys to keep something in mind, okay? Keep in mind that at this point in my life, I'm an aspiring creator. I make like shorter videos, so I don't really make much money off of YouTube and all that. Yeah, you know, there isn't much money being made there, and I'm just doing YouTube completely for fun. You know, at this point, and oh my god, please leave me alone. What is this? At this point, I'm, you know, very passionate about becoming a bigger YouTuber, and I look up to a lot of creators that make a lot of money off YouTube because someday I want to do it full term. And obviously now I've made this kind of like my long-term like job. I can do it like a lot more consistently now without having to worry about money and all that, which I am so grateful for. But at this point in my life, I was a smaller creator, and this was just a passion of mine, you know, being able to make a bunch of money off YouTube and actually make my hobby into a long-term job. So we were talking about YouTube statistics, and I was sharing my screen, or someone was sharing their screen and was going over the statistics of the channel that you know, was of the creator that made the server. So the popular creator that you know, made the server, someone was going over their channel with screen share, and I made a very dumb comment. Now keep in mind, this creator wasn't actually here, but I said something insensitive, and what I said was, do you think blank is able to live off of YouTube? Now personally, I didn't think this was a big deal at this point. I think the main thing that I didn't keep in mind is that people at this point were a lot more closed-minded about YouTube and statistics and money. I think this was when making money off of YouTube was much rarer, especially in the Minecraft community. Being a YouTuber with like 400,000 subscribers was a very big deal, and people viewed YouTube and money very differently. I think it was a much more like difficult topic to bring up. I think that like this wasn't like an easy topic to talk about for a lot of creators, and people would take the topic of money seriously. And I wasn't asking this to actually get an answer. It was a rhetorical question because I wanted to do YouTube long term someday for myself. So I asked rhetorically, I wonder if this blank creator makes enough money to be able to do YouTube full term, like long term, support themselves fully. And you know, assuming this was a larger creator, I said I was talking about them because obviously as a larger creator they make more money than everyone else in that Discord call. We just kind of talked about it. No one really said anything, like no one really cared. It wasn't really a big deal until this is when things got kind of crazy. This large YouTuber messaged me, I think the next day or maybe later that week. It just sent me like a long message, very angry, like so extremely mad, saying like, yo, so you want to talk, you know, and start cursing me out and stuff. And like it was not like good at all. I was like scared for my life at this point. Keep in mind, I'm a really small creator. I had 40,000 subscribers. This YouTuber had like 400 to 700k, something like that, and I was so scared. I thought I did something really bad, and I do realize that I'm kind of avoiding blame a little bit while talking about this, because I think in a way I still feel like I think that this person was exaggerating slightly, but I do take responsibility for like the comment that I made at the end of the day. I do acknowledge that that was my fault, and I should have been more careful about what I said around this person. And I think also it would have been a little bit different if I had directly asked the YouTuber themselves or talked about it with them personally as like a form of like understanding and like gone to them personally, you know. So as I was saying, this very large creator DM'd me extremely mad, and basically I think they assumed, and this was probably lost in translation at some point, I think they assumed that I was talking really bad about their analytics because that's the impression they seem to be under. I think what happened is one of their friends that was in the call probably messaged them while I was talking about this creator's analytics, and I think it got lost in translation that I was dissing him instead of like genuinely asking how much money he made, which I mean it's unfortunate because I really like I really looked up to this guy, and I never really got to talk to him personally like in a positive light. So yeah, I mean basically he was super angry. I kept apologizing and saying no, I wasn't like trying to diss you, like I had no bad intentions, like I swear. But he was super mad. He said like you're a small creator, like you know, you need to be humble, and like, you know, if you want to make it big in the community, it's important to like have a humble mindset, etc. And you know, I didn't fully agree with it at the time, but looking back, I think that a lot of the stuff he said, even if it directly didn't portray my actions, I think that a lot of the stuff he was saying was true. I just think that he was like a little bit closed-minded about the whole situation. But yeah, after this situation happened, I kind of just didn't really talk to him for a while. I was very anxious. Like I was super scared because this was a large creator. I thought this guy was gonna like, you know, expose me or something stupid. Obviously he's not gonna expose me. He could care less because he's like a large creator. I was a small creator. I thought he was gonna do something like bad, you know, get me in trouble or tell people that I was like a bad person, whatever. I was just super duper scared, and I felt so bad about the whole situation. And you know, at this point I was a lot more anxious. I've talked about my anxiety a lot in the past, so I was so scared. You know, I talked to some of his other friends and asked like if I should apologize or if I should just like let it be. So eventually I came to the decision that I do need to apologize and like clear up the air with them. So a few days later I did get into a voice call with him while he was in a voice call with some of my friends, and I apologized to him and I said, I'm so sorry, like once again that wasn't my intention, but I'll be more careful in the future. And he was pretty chill about it, you know. He didn't make it a big deal or anything. He just said yeah, no worries, I appreciate it, blah blah blah. And I never really talked to him again after that. Unfortunately, basically I was told by some people that he, like after that experience, even after I apologized to him, he still talked pretty bad about me in VCs with like my friends and stuff, which does suck considering that, you know, he's a large creator, and I don't think that it's like the most responsible of him. But once again, these are like not things things that he told me directly. It's just what I kind of heard going forward. So I don't really want to assume anything. And also, this was like over 2 years ago, so you know, I don't like really care. I'm not gonna hold a grudge, whatever, you know. I don't think it's a big deal anymore, and I think this was really never a big deal. I mean, what was said wasn't a huge deal. It was just a dumb mistake, and I think it got lost in translation, and yeah, I mean, I was just anxious, and you know, but eventually it was resolved. I apologized to him, and I was, you know, chill with his friends afterwards, and whatever. That's kind of the end of the story. But yeah, it was scary, but it worked out, and I'm just glad it did, because you know, it's something that like you don't want to have bad beef with like certain people in the community, and he was one of those people, especially at that time. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Once again, I'm not going to reveal who this person was. I have no interest in, you know, releasing that name. I don't think it's necessary, important, whatever, because obviously I don't want to like bring it back up after all these years. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, let's comment the word decision. If you guys made it to the end of the video, comment the word decision. I'm going to heart every single comment that says the word decision within the first 24 hours. Once again, I really appreciate the support, and I think the takeaway from this is it's important to be humble. It is important to be humble. There's certain things that I didn't think I was wrong about in this situation, and there's certain things that I was definitely wrong about, and at the end of the day, I wasn't my most humble self in that call, so it is important to be humble, and I did take that experience. I didn't take it lightly. I took that experience and I learned from it, and you know, I try not to like talk bad about people behind their back and stuff. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and have a great day, everyone. Peace out. Bye.